So, there's a new Transformers game coming out. And no, it's not a card game. It's not a board game. And to say something in between would actually be technically wrong, too. Well, I lied. I just told a lie. It is a card game. But it's not a traditional trading card game. Not like the Digimon trading card game. Not like Universes. No. And definitely not like the Transformers trading card game we had last year. A couple years back, technically. It ended about last year. That's not the point. The point is, it's something to be excited for, in my opinion, because I'm a Transformers buff myself, and hearing that there's a new game coming out, especially one that I can sink my teeth into and just have fun with my siblings and have fun with my family, it sounds like a lot of fun in my book. So I decided I was going to talk about it, because why not? There's a lot to unpack, and it can be definitely said that there's really no place to start. Well, really no place to easily pinpoint to begin talking about this new game coming out. But I think we should just talk about what it is and what it's trying to do. So, first off, it's a game made by Renegade Studios. They're a company who publish games and create games and stuff like that. And just this year, they're posting, well, right about the time this video will probably come out, they're posting or releasing and getting ready to release a Power Rangers deck building game. And what a deck building game is a game where throughout the game you build your deck. Now, most of you guys probably, if you guys played trading card games, built decks before. But that was before the fight. That was before the action. That was before the game. It's a game outside of the game, some people might say. But I digress. The thing about deck building games is that for people who like building decks and building a strategy from a pool of cards, but this time they put that into the game. You don't have to do that on the side. That's part of the game. You get out your cards, you set it up, you play, and as you go, you'll build a deck. And if you're a good deck building game player, you'll end up building a certain strategy within your cards, and you'll build that up within your deck. And by the end, it will be just like a deck of cards from a different game, but it'll be doing one thing with the certain pool of cards you have. But at the beginning, it has infinite potential within the limit of the game. It starts from zero, and you can go into 100 in any direction you wish. And that's what makes deck building games so much fun. Every time you play, you could build a different deck, and sometimes you don't even have to. You don't even have to build a good strategy. You just get together all the cards you think will look cool, sound cool, might be fun, and so on and what have you. So this new Transformers game is going to be a deck builder, which what I just explained to you. And that's different from the Transformers trading card game, obviously, because that was just a build your deck, fight your opponent, or whatever you might want to call it. But this is definitely going to be something a little different, and that's something to be excited for sure. But I think to get really an insight of what this game might be like, because we don't really have much info other than the cover picture, we're going to take a step back and look at the Power Rangers game that Renegade Studios is also going to be publishing. A thing to note that isn't really that important to the talking about what this game's going to be about, but something that I just want to say, being the fact that this is a video, is that the game is up for pre-order. I'll have the link in the description, and what you really want to be doing pre-ordering it, not just so that you can guarantee yourself a spot at getting the game, but also it's because the fact that when you do get a certain pre-order pack, or rather, when you get this sort of pre-order deal, you get access to Jazz as a playable character. I believe that will be coming with your set, your box of the game, when that comes in the mail as well. So, and also some extra playable, usable cards. So, it's a good idea to get the pre-order now if you're watching this video during the time that, I guess, or during the time the pre-order is still open. Check the link in the description and you'll know if that's true or not, I suppose. But, certain thing I want to note for the Transformers game, which I do doubt, not because I think they're lazy or anything, just because I think that that'd be a waste of time, especially when you made a cool little system with the Power Rangers one. Things to note from Power Rangers that are definitely important to note with Transformers. You in the Power Rangers game, you get to pick one starting character, and obviously with Transformers, with a variety of different Transformers in the universe to pick from, they're probably going to do something along these lines, other than something that Legendary, another deck building, a very popular deck building game, does, where like the characters aren't yours to start the game with, but rather you buy them and you kind of play them as a tax or money or resources. That's something that that game does. In this game, it seems, in the Power Rangers one, definitely, that you have one starting character. In Transformers, I believe it's going to be the same, and for one reason, and a reason that they probably kept in mind when designing Transformers games as well, that in the Power Rangers game, you can flip, as a, well, definitely as a hero, from your basically your civilian side to your ranger side, and you do stuff in the game, you upgrade your character to finally flip to that side. So it's not a back and forth thing you just do, from what I understand. The thing about Transformers is that we saw with the Transformers trading card games that the definitely something that people are noticing and doing with Transformers games. Well, or rather, well, come on, let's be honest, it's just been the trading card game, but it definitely seems something smart, especially when they already have this idea of double-sided cards in mind that you would pick, I don't know, Optimus Prime and then flip him over into a truck and back and forth. In the card game, in the Power Rangers card game, pick and builder game, you build up your character to flip, and then you can't really flip back. It's not really a flip mechanic per se, but it's definitely something you should keep an eye on, being the fact that this is Transformers we're going into, and it's definitely something you can assume that you're gonna get one character and you flip them back and forth from alt and to bot to alt to bot, because that's Transformers. They transform. That's their thing. They definitely have some sort of mechanic. Maybe not by just an action for your turn. Maybe not just like something like that, but maybe a lot of cards affect, say, flip over your character, transform, whatever they're going to say on the text. Maybe something like that as well is something to pay attention to, because whichever way, shape, or form, I am not at all in a position where I think that they're not going to do flip back and forth with your character card. Especially since I believe that they're going to do character cards. That's what they did for Power Rangers. It would make a lot of sense to do it for Transformers. To pick one singular identity to be during the game, and you really just upgrade his weapons. In theory, in the story of this deck builder, that's what I'm talking about right now. You pick a character, you upgrade his weapons, and whatnot. Another thing for the Power Rangers game that is definitely, I guess, cool is that you have like sort of a shared row of cards that each player at the board can play by from, but only certain cards can be bought by the good guys, and the players that are playing the bad guys, there are certain cards that can be bought for them, or by them rather. And there's also a little mechanic they created in the game in which you can sort of deny your opponent cards. And you can basically get rid of the bad guy, of the villain cards. If you're a hero, get rid of the villain cards so the villains can't buy them on their turn. And that's actually really cool, and I do kind of see that being something in Transformers, because in Transformers lore-wise, you always have the Decepticons and the Autobots. They're kind of fighting for Energon. They're trying to, any Wheeljack creates a new weapon, boom. Now the Decepticons want it. The Autobots have to keep it away from them. Something like that along the line. Stuff like that. It's always been a back and forth between MacGuffins, Allspark, Matrix, Energon, cubes, anything. It's always been trying to get it from the other side in Transformers. That's kind of how it even started, a war for energy, a war for resources. So that's definitely something I can see carrying over into Transformers for sure. And that's really just the tip of the iceberg. This game has a lot of cool nuances, especially how you play attacks with energy, which could easily be just called Energon in Transformers game, and then boom, it's the same thing. I'm not really going to go into how to play or too much into the Power Rangers game, because, well, I'll link a way you can find to learn how to play and stuff like that in the description, but that's not really what this video is about. It's really just an announcement video that there's going to be a new, cool Transformers trading card game. Well, I can't believe I just said that. Transformers deck building game, Transformers game altogether. Because let's be honest, Transformers has been out of this sort of niche for a long time. Even during the time when everybody was coming out with a new card game, Transformers, they really didn't have anything coming out for them. And being a property like owned by Hasbro, who owned Wizard of the Coast after a certain point of time, we're talking not forever, they didn't always, I don't believe at least. If I'm getting this wrong, that looks kind of stupid for me. But that's not the point. The point is that Transformers never really had an RPG. A lot of games did. Never really had a card game. Almost every franchise during a point in time did. They all tried, no matter how garbage it was. They all pushed something out there because that's what everybody was buying. It was a new thing. Or rather, it was a new booming thing. Transformers never really did. Finally, the Transformers trading card game comes out 2018, I want to say, and it's amazing. It's a fun game. It's not phenomenal. Like I'm not talking about like it boosted to #1 card game, but I'm definitely talking about it's a game that's fun, and I was really into it when it was going on. It's dead now. Well, it's not dead. You can still play, and you can still people making makeshift sets, I believe. But it's definitely not being printed anymore. But now we got a new card game, a new deck building game, and I'm not sure if this exists, but I want to see a new Transformers RPG. That's such a beautiful lore chunk, rich field area to be tapped into, and it needs to be tapped into it. Now, do I don't know if there's actually an RPG confirmed or not. There might be. People, I hear people talking about RPGs and whatnot, but I don't actually know. Maybe that's something I have to look into and talk about later on the channel. Because although I do play card games mostly, board games secondarily, RPGs are something on the third burner for sure. So, really, I just want to talk about the fact that this new trading card game, this new Transformers trading card game is out. And it's looking like it could be really fun. And even if it's not extremely fun, I'll tell you what it will be. It'll be a breath of fresh, new, beautiful air. And that's really what it's all about in this space, I believe. So that's really all for this video. Tell me what you thought about the Transformers card game. Tell me, oh, that deck building game. Tell me what you think this is going to be like. Tell me what you hope this is going to be like. And all in all, let's just get the conversation started. I have a link in the description to the Facebook group where you can request to join. And there are already people over there talking, getting exciting, getting hype, which every one of us need to be doing to keep this game